Master of Unlocking podcast.
There we go.
He did it.
We got it.
We got it.
He nailed it.
You know what? I bet that intro looked really good.
Better than sex.
Better than sex.
The one you just saw, the one that
one
Caleb
everybody
animated.
just saw. Yeah. Caleb went nuts this week and kind of we felt like we needed some higher production value.
If you didn't like it, it was not me. It was
okay,
Logan.
that's right. It was me. No, it wasn't me.
If you liked it, I'll take all the credit. But
right.
if it sucked, that was somebody else that did that, not me.
I'll only do the Game of the Year tiles, and that's it. That's when I chip in. But
Okay.
Otherwise, I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm out. Game of the Year
Yes,
tiles.
Jason
Fair
usually,
enough.
Yeah, Jason usually does. I mean, Jason developed a graphic and like all of our Game of the Year stuff,
one?
but then that one
right there.
Mhm,
Yeah.
that graphic. Yeah, it's so weird. It's actually there right now.
I was trying to make it like spin or something. I'll keep working on that.
That's fine.
okay.
Whatever you gotta
Yeah,
do.
we're gonna need some more out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, step up. God, you haven't done enough this week. Good Lord.
Yeah. Oh God.
This is your profession, this project. Okay, so
Did
step
I
up.
get your gamer tags right? I hope I did.
I think so.
Yeah.
That looks right.
Okay.
Yep.
all right.
Yeah. Gamer
Yeah.
tags are on
Yep.
there now, so we have like our names are down here, along with our gamer tags on all platforms. Are we correct on all platforms?
I'm not.
Oh, I use the same thing for everything, but you did it.
I was not available. This was not available on Steam.
Mine too.
So
Oh, okay.
I am _42
I am
on Steam.
I am 4283 on Steam.
Okay.
So
All right.
I
Yep.
may have given away
So-
my birth year there. I don't know. But-
That's fine.
yeah,
Lots of people-
1942.
No, it's just your
Someone
favorite
call
number.
it 19 Dickety 2, but that was the.
What the hell's going on?
Oh, that was like the teen. Or no, wait. No, I think it was like 19.
I don't know
20.
what he's talking about.
We lost
I
Logan.
think it was wasn't that an
gone.
Abe Simpson reference? Like it was like that he.
So anyway, Taco Bell.
Taco Bell was a thing, yes. So for now we're on to our fast food segment.
Insert animation here.
Caleb, what the hell was that?
I didn't even show it to Jason yet. It'll be a surprise.
There's a transition that you haven't seen. You're about to
Really?
see
Yeah.
it.
Oh,
And
I'm excited.
this you would not see at Taco Bell, that's for sure. But yeah, we had Taco Bell this week. Was the cheesy gordita crunch.
Mhm.
This was my choice of a thing to go to because I can't pick breakfast because Caleb doesn't get up that early. But
Hey, I got up early this morning. Okay,
okay, how early
got
was
up-
early?
I got up at 8:30.
Okay, you could have got breakfast.
I
yeah.
mowed.
Oh, you
at 9
mowed the
at
yard.
9
Okay,
o'clock.
at 8.
I went to brunch.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, right? This was
Brunch.
a
You went
weird
to
thing.
brunch.
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Where did brunch? Where did you go to brunch?
The original Pancake House.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was really good. Really good.
Yeah, that place is good. Was it busy?
Yeah. It was very busy.
It's a
We had to wait a
Sunday.
while, but
Yeah.
it was
Sunday.
fine.
Sunday, socially distanced.
Caleb went to brunch.
Yeah.
Caleb did go to brunch. I'm kind
You
of,
mowed before you went to brunch.
I know.
who are you? Do you need a nap?
I do.
Kinda.
Unrelated. I could go for one.
I think I'll go for a nap. So yes. So what did everyone think of the cheesy gordita crunch from Taco Bell?
Was this your first one, Caleb?
Yeah,
This
I've never
Caleb's
had
first
one
one.
before.
I've had a cheesy gordita crunch before.
Okay, right. So have you ever had a gordita before?
Nope.
So do you remember the campaign for gorditas with the Taco Bell Chihuahua? Where
I remember the Taco Bell Chihuahua
Viva
for sure.
gorditas.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Yeah. This thing's good.
What?
This thing's good.
This is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Really good.
I wasn't
it's
sure
good.
it was. I wasn't sure if it was a little too spicy for you.
No. Not spicy.
Okay, it has a little bit of spicy sauce on it.
Okay.
I made my kids try it for the first time. They hadn't had it before, and my one daughter who doesn't like spicy things at all was like, "No way, this is not working for me." And the one who does like spicy things, she needed a milk afterwards. But
Oh,
I
okay.
don't even think it's. I don't think it's that spicy. Maybe you don't.
yeah,
think
I
it's that
didn't
spicy
think
either.
I didn't get spicy out of it, but
I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jason, you've had it before, but what did you any change in preference on these?
I don't think so. Still really solid. Very good. Probably my number 2 item from Taco Bell.
From the bacon chalupa?
Not, I guess the bacon chalupa is a special
Oh,
because
okay.
it comes and goes. So, yeah, I would say, yeah, behind a regular chalupa, cheesy gordita crunch, pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty good.
Solid. All right.
Mhm.
What was the ranking on this for you guys? And did you have any weird app experiences?
I used the app and it
Mm.
went fine.
No, I have a question. Where did you use the app? At home or in the drive-through?
At home.
At home, and then
Yeah.
and then went to the drive-through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've found that area in general, I have there's a complete dead space where my phone just does not get service around Chick-fil-A, McDonald's, Chipotle, Taco Bell, that whole general vicinity. My phone just decides to completely quit working right there. I have full bars, but it just is like, man, no, not going to work. So I think that is my issue with with apps and food apps in general now. I've come to the conclusion is I use that. I'm in that area too much.
I'm going to give, actually, this is the first time I think I've gone to Taco Bell in a long time where there was only like one, maybe two cars in front of me.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was super fast. So I'm going to give the food an 8.
Oh, okay.
And I'm going to give the restaurant experience a 10 because it was for this particular time, it was flawless.
Was it a normal like time of day to get food?
No, it was like 3:30 or something.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. It's not a normal time of day. I went last night at 6, and the line was like to the street.
Yeah.
Yeah, gets you. Jason, what are your thoughts?
I give it 8.
Give it an 8.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, an 8. Yeah, I went in the middle of the afternoon, like you, and it was almost still to the street because that's how Taco Bell rolls in this town.
There's only 2 Taco Bells in this town. I think they need a third.
Are there? Just 2?
Yeah, just the one on College and the one on South Veterans.
Okay.
The Veterans one's terrible.
Yeah, I've heard that one's pretty bad.
So
And it's the newest
slow.
one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would think they would need another one by campus. I think that could, like, North Main-ish
Yeah.
would probably do well. Cut some of the traffic off of the College Avenue one.
Okay.
All right, new venture for us. I think we're going to franchise a Taco Bell in North Main.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
With
Well,
this big internet money,
yep.
this podcast
All right,
rolls
it's been
out.
fun podcasting. We're on to Taco Bell franchising.
We just got the production stuff. So
Now you're just going to change it to tacos.
I can do that.
Okay.
I can do that right now.
All right.
I gotta go.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Okay, bye. All right. Can we wait, real quick though? Can we get rid of everything Pepsi related there and go to Coke?
no.
What?
Pepsi is way better than Coke. You kidding
Not
me?
fountain though.
Yeah.
Oh, Diet Pepsi's terrible fountain. There's something about Taco Bell's fountain Pepsi's terrible.
Huh.
I don't know why. I will go through a McDonald's drive-through or go to a gas station.
You
after
know,
picking
okay,
it up.
McDonald's is the exception. I don't know what they do to that stuff.
It's
but
because it's consistent. They put filters in all of their stuff so that every Diet Coke or fountain beverage tastes the same at whatever McDonald's you go to.
yeah.
I read a whole thing on that one time. It was crazy, like that they put all this filtration in to make sure that the home water doesn't, sully their fountain soda.
Isn't there a chain of ownership between McDonald's, Chipotle, who else has this like, maybe not.
McDonald's and Chipotle used to have the same ownership, and now
Did
they
they?
don't.
But they don't. Okay.
Chipotle officially split off, and they are their own LLC.
Okay.
now.
That's why I
They're
thought that
publicly
maybe
traded, all
their
that stuff,
soda
yeah.
was the same because of that. But there's Jimmy John's, Chipotle, Chick-fil-A, McDonald's. There's those places that have like the same filtration systems, no matter what machine you go to.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if somehow those businesses were linked somehow because they seem to have
But I
similar
would say that
filtration.
they taste a little bit different, though.
Oh, do they?
If that's a thing,
Mm.
maybe it's the food I get there. But I would say, yeah, Jimmy John's has a consistent Diet Coke.
Yeah.
that I seek out that there's Jimmy John's Diet Coke is a solid.
Yeah.
For me, that's
Yeah.
for sure. I don't. Maybe it is. Maybe it's just the food that you get with McDonald's that makes it
Maybe.
different.
Maybe.
That could be. Like I'm just used to I got it. This is what Diet Coke and fries taste like
Yeah.
from McDonald's.
You get the
'cause
salt and the fat and your Diet Coke.
I gotta tell you, I was slightly when we got Taco Bell because we didn't get nacho fries this time. I was super disappointed the whole ride home because I didn't have any fries to eat in the car.
Are nacho fries gone?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe
I don't know. I didn't pay enough attention.
Speaking of, what are we having this week?
Good question.
Anything on Chew Boom?
Oh, I didn't check.
Oh, now we got to look online, all alive here. This is gonna be bad.
Oh, so I'm like choking.
Are you choking on your diet caffeine-free
Yep.
Pepsi over there?
Yep.
So he goes out to
So the gas
yeah, go ahead.
station has literally 0 options. If you want something that's caffeine free and also diet, nothing. Literally nothing.
Okay.
Pretty disappointed.
You know, I thought
No caffeine free in all those pumps.
Well, not even in just the fountains, but their bottles as well.
Wait, what?
Nothing.
Really?
They might have had Diet Sprite, but I was like, nah, pass.
Interesting. Okay.
So I stopped at Walmart and picked up a Diet caffeine-free Pepsi real quick.
okay, well, I while I'm searching through Chew Boom and I find things that, Shake Shack is introducing strawberry rhubarb shakes. That sounds terrible. White Castle is unveiling a birthday cake on a stick. It's a birthday cake on a stick.
There
Okay.
it is.
All right.
Sorry, I just had to, as I saw these things, I didn't know what else to do. Gosh, all these places we don't have.
Yeah, that happens a lot on that site.
Well, if we had the premium chicken sandwiches at
Maybe
Wendy's-
that's what we should finally do at
Should we do the
next week.
McDonald's?
We do the McDonald's.
Should we
I'm
do
fine
them?
with that.
Yeah. So are we just bringing them here and doing
Yeah.
them all three at once?
Yeah,
Live.
let's do that.
We eat them. We'll eat them live.
Eat 'em live.
Yeah.
All right. So next week, the McDonald's chicken sandwiches, all three chicken sandwiches, will cut into thirds, and the original chicken sandwich, the deluxe chicken sandwich, and the spicy chicken sandwich.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And do we each need like a large fry with us too?
Large fry,
Well, I mean, okay, just a fry, maybe.
I'll fry.
maybe a Diet Coke.
Yeah, I'm gonna need that Diet Coke. All right. Next week's podcast brought to you by McDonald's.
Right.
We'll work on the sponsorship of that for next week. But that's next week. This week we've got video games to talk about.
Do you want to do a quick break / recording
break
check?
real quick.
Oh, fine. You act like we've got all this new stuff that we're trying to check on and make sure it works right, like not like last week.
Still break.
Let's do a break. So this week in video games, we went to a video game convention yesterday.
Oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah.
You already forgot.
Like, what did we
Yeah.
do yesterday? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was kind of I guess the first real, like, one of the first, like, event things I guess we've been to in a while since this whole pandemic crazy thing started.
And it was, strangely enough, right next to the COVID testing.
Which
like,
was hilarious.
literally
Yeah,
2 doors
you're
over.
right.
Yeah, it was
correct.
like, go left to the video game convention, go straight to the get your
Video
COVID
game con,
testing. COVID test.
testing. It's just like, did you guys take a picture of that? I almost
did.
Did you?
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
for you. If we did thumbnails for this podcast, that would be it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Send that to me. 'Cause
Well,
this is
it's a
super-
picture of like the 2 doors, so it's like from the parking lot. So
Okay.
not the signs, but like the 2 doors.
Yeah. One goes one way, one goes the other. It's it's a happy day. I don't know. But as with, most convention things, I guess this was there had a few things to play, a bunch of our old arcade games, some VR things
They
set
stepped
up.
it up. Let's give them some credit
Yeah.
for where they were, because this was in, what would you, like, a conference boardroom in a
Yeah.
hotel? Like, what's the best way to
The
describe
ballroom.
Yeah, it was like a ballroom of a
ballroom.
hotel, like a
Yeah.
smaller ballroom
And
of
it's
a
a
hotel.
smaller hotel, right? We're
Right.
not talking about, like, the MGM Grand here. We're talking,
We're
Right.
talking about a Holiday Inn Express.
Right. Yeah. Yes. Exactly. That size of ballroom. And so
Mhm.
this year they went to a convention center.
Yeah, it was a legit. I mean, there was few thousand square feet. Like, yeah.
And they've had consoles in years past, but this year they must have rented a bunch of cabinets.
Yeah, I'd say there was probably 20 cabinets or so
I don't
floating
know.
around.
They were lined all.
Maybe.
throughout
Yeah,
the
there were a
thing.
lot.
Yeah,
It's
they were all
pretty good.
they were all spaced out, so that's why I wasn't
Yeah.
sure how many exactly there were.
We can name the convention, right?
It was just Bloomington Normal Video Game Convention, wasn't
Hey,
it?
shout
Yeah.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They were. Yeah, they
Yeah.
did fine. And then I think they had like
Put
some,
up the artwork, Kate.
some.
No, don't call out artwork I don't have.
But you're not doing it now, live. You're not. I thought
Mhm.
you can't.
You don't have the.
No, you're the,
cat.
you're the live graphics person. You didn't get that memo. I do the
Oh,
pre-production.
So I have my email right here.
Logan does the post-production. You're
Mm.
you're the live guy.
Yeah, I see.
Okay, yeah.
My bad. It's right there.
Mhm.
I apologize. Yep.
Okay.
Sorry.
Get out your stylus. Start
Alright,
start.
get your stylus. Just get moving. So, yeah, start working on your TriCaster skills. Oh, wait, we don't have one of those.
Man.
Yeah. So
They also had a couple of VR stations.
got a couple
which is-
VR stations.
yeah.
One place that actually does like I don't even know what you call it, like live VR. Like they have like one of those big rooms where you can like go and like run around in and everything with VR. I've not done it before, but oddly enough, that person lives close to me. I see the truck drive by all the time, but I've never gone there. Yeah, so they had that, and then a lot of vendors.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the reason we went. Oh, and then the guy who made Rampage was there.
Yeah.
The only guy in the whole place without a mask I thought was kind of funny.
Oh, really?
That was the like I didn't really see anybody without a mask. Did you guys?
Yeah, mask compliance is pretty good.
Yeah, the only guy without one was the guy who made Rampage and was over there like trying to like sell like autographs.
I didn't
and
even notice
pictures and
that.
stuff.
That's
That's
funny.
the only person
Yeah.
I noticed. I thought it was kind of interesting.
There was some cosplay going on.
A little bit. We saw or was it Reptile
Reptile.
and a Cammy.
A reptile and a cami.
I saw a random cardboard box robot walking around.
Yeah, that was pretty intense,
I
actually.
missed that, actually.
It was huge.
I just
Oh,
looked. I think he
shoot.
walked behind Caleb. I was like, Caleb, there's a giant robot behind you.
Yeah, he's like, don't be alarmed. But there is a giant robot behind you.
Like it was, yeah.
Don't freak out.
Like,
Look at my eyes. Don't freak out.
but yeah, you know what the thing I think that surprised me the most was the amount of Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
A ton.
That's
of Pokemon
coming back,
cards.
like
It's
in
back?
a really strong
Oh,
way.
okay.
Yeah.
I
If you
don't
go
know.
down the aisle at Target with the
Mhm.
cards, it looks like a hurricane went through there.
Oh, are we talking about? We're talking about new cards as well.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like
Not a
Pokemon
collectible
cards
thing.
are like big again, like really big. Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't understand, and this is just shows you guys like segmented segmented interests.
Mhm.
I didn't know until a couple of years ago. My sister told me, "Have you ever played Pokemon?" And I was like, "Not really. I'm not big on the games." No. I was like, "Wait, what?" She's like, "Yeah, we learned how to play with the cards and stuff." And I was like, "Excuse me?" there's a game when cards and these things, like, I had no idea. I thought it was just like a baseball card or a basketball card
No,
or
it's like a
whatever.
Magic the Gathering style
I
game.
had
Yeah.
no idea. I thought it was just like, this is your collectible Pikachu. Congratulations. This is your this year's series of Pikachu.
Yeah.
And in my head, that's what I thought it was.
Mm.
No, she sent me a screenshot and they learned how to play because
Yeah.
their son wanted to play. And I was like, they were showing me like all of it laid out. And I was like, I've known
This is
about
an actual game.
Yeah, I've known about Pokemon for 20 plus years and had no idea that it was
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
like Magic.
Yeah. So Caleb, which came first? The game, like the card game, the Game Boy game, or the TV show?
The Game Boy game.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
I really don't know.
I'm
Someone
not an
will correct-
expert on this.
If you're in the
but
chat, would you please correct us if we were wrong here? Because we'll look it up later and find out we're morons.
What
but
does chat say right now, Caleb?
how do we have 3 million viewers and nobody knows this?
Hey, Drool Stool 87, you, what do you you got anything? No, what about you, Camaro Guy 72? No? Nothing?
No.
Okay.
No.
Does that say Ed Boone 48? What? No, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Our audience has a very big Pokemon blind spot, apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
Unfortunate.
like the host.
just like the host, exactly. But yeah, we checked out a few vendors. God, prices are up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the video game collectible world prices have gone up tremendously. in the
Yeah, if
last
you're looking
couple
for
years.
bargains, you're not going to find them here.
No,
But if you're looking for like obscure stuff, you might.
yeah, there was a couple stations
Good
that had
point.
mostly like all import stuff. We had a couple of vendors who had some really rare stuff that was going for close to $1,000 on some of those things. And
What did you buy from the import again? The
oh
import.
yeah.
Oh,
here
I'm
we-
sorry. I didn't mean to
No,
jump
you're
early
good.
to the show and tell.
I bought Final Fantasy V
Mhm.
For
on
the-
the Super Famicom.
And that's the Super Nintendo here.
That's the Super
Yes.
Nintendo. Yes.
I'm just so I'm following.
Yep, and this one never released in the U.S. until very recently.
And it was on the 3DS, right?
You know what? No, this one did. It released on. It was part of the Chronicles, wasn't it? Final Fantasy Chronicles.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
And that was a while.
Okay, it was
ago now.
that
Not
and
Crystal
Chrono
Chronicles,
Trigger.
Yeah.
I think it was 5 and Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, it was like a
And
PS1
That
game,
was a
right?
PS1 game, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But they were ports.
Yeah.
They were SNES ports, yeah.
So this is proper Final Fantasy V
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
in Japan,
Mm-hmm.
and one started here at what number, or did we see True One here?
We saw True One
True
on the
One, yeah.
final. It was Final Fantasy on the NES, the straight NES.
So those were 1-to-1.
1-to-1. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So where did the numbers start to get messed up?
The next one, 2 didn't come out here. I think
So it
ever.
came on the Famicom
Yeah.
only.
Yeah.
Is that correct, Logan? So your favorite Final
Correct.
Fantasy is actually Japanese 4?
Japanese 4, which
Look at
We're
Logan's
live.
butt.
We're live.
Well, I mean, it literally looks
Actually,
almost
no.
the same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's Final Fantasy 4 on the
You know what's
Super
cool about
Famicom.
this? I digress. Forgive me, I already digressed. But how Final Fantasy has maintained the same look and feel,
Yeah.
even though the games have changed dramatically
Mhm.
from like character design, the logos. Actually, you know what's funny? You know who else has done a really good job of this? Rockstar with GTA.
Yeah.
Like those
I turned around and looked. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those character designs and the artwork, the logo work is always very similar.
Yep.
And look at this. I mean, how old are these, you know? And they still, even though the most recent teaser has artwork like this with the like two-tone, you know, I don't know how do you say, sweeping character designs, I guess. Is like the best way to put it. God. These are cool.
I'll keep going through my stuff here while we're talking about it.
Yeah.
I also bought a PS3 game called Time and Eternity. You guys have never heard of this, right?
When you
bought
showed
it
it
and I
to
was
us,
like,
we
what
said,
is that?
"What is this?"
So it's a really unique game. It's like you can look at
Matt?
those are not great screenshots. They're very small, but it's a turn-based RPG. But you only play one character, and it's an over-the-shoulder view, and it's kind of a shooter. So you're doing turn-based stuff, but also with a gun. So you're also like aiming. And I played through it originally when it came out, and I really liked it. And I don't know why I got rid of my copy. So I've always been on the lookout for that. First time I've ever seen it in the wild, so I picked it up.
That looks like it's got some looks to it.
Yeah,
it's
it
like
was
got a really nice anime style.
Yeah, it's for a PS3 game.
Little
I thought it
cell
looked
shading
really
even,
cool.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
It looks nice. Kind of like we saw copies of Lunar yesterday for Sega CD. It's kind of got that legacy look to it a little bit.
Yep. And then finally, I bought.
God, even weirder.
Yeah, no, the Last Blade on a console that I do not own, the Neo Geo CD.
God, who owns a Neo? How would you even acquire a Neo Geo CD?
I don't know. Logan said he saw one there.
you
I
see
think,
one?
right?
Yeah, there was one there.
Really? How much?
I didn't even look at it. How much it cost?
It probably
like,
$350.
I didn't even,
if not higher.
because I was
They're
so concerned
pricey.
about finding games for it that I was just like, forget it.
Well, yeah. How many games
Yeah.
did they even make for the thing? 6?
Yeah, I've been toying around with the idea of
Let me see that one.
this is part of my my Sweary collection.
That's a sweary game.
This is a
Yeah,
sweary.
he worked on this. It's not a Sweary game, but he worked on it.
An early sweary joint. Where, he wasn't quite.
He was maybe a associate producer or something. You know, like he was not the showrunner. But it. So I kind of wanted the U.S. release of it because all of his stuff that had a U.S. release, I've been getting that one. But the difference in price between that one was $50 and the U.S. release is like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna get the Japanese one.
Huh.
So
this is more like a fighting game.
Yeah, it's a fighting game for sure.
Okay.
Yeah,
I didn't know swearing.
it's
made fighting games.
SNK, I think, right?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
SNK. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Looks like a Samurai Showdown.
Yeah, again, it was
Sure,
early in
yeah.
his career, so it was like he got a gig
wasn't the
working on a
lead,
game,
yeah.
not yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Jason, you didn't bring yours because you have a giant box.
No, it's no. You don't have the same box here. You
No.
have different boxes.
Yeah.
I bought a Nintendo Entertainment System yesterday.
Mhm.
I don't know what happened to my Nintendo years ago.
I don't know.
Sold probably garage
same.
sale. Who knows?
I think we all had that issue.
Maybe in a box somewhere that you just
We
buried.
saw the prices on those are a little odd to me.
Yeah, it really doesn't make sense. Like the one you got in a box was cheaper than one out of the box that didn't look as nice. So
I don't know what that was. Yeah, I'm not sure.
At the same time, I don't know if you've gone home and hooked it up. I don't know if it works.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it doesn't work. I haven't had a chance to play
Yeah.
with it, but hopefully it does, because that was one. I have a bunch of systems, but I do not. Oh well, now I now finally have a NES. I was looking at a couple other games, but you guys were talking about it. The stuff I'm looking for, the first convention we went to before this thing grew, I should have just bought everything then. because now
Yeah.
the pricing on some stuff is out of control.
Yeah, it's way out of
Specifically, Silent Hill was $50 that day, and now it's $200.
Mhm.
So I think Turtles in Time was 40-ish.
Yeah.
Now it's up to 70.
Yeah.
And so I don't know whether to just wait till everybody goes back to work and life is normal again, and then maybe the market goes down on some of
Maybe.
these games, or maybe it's there permanently. I don't know. So I'm now thinking about, all right, if I'm going to part ways with a ton of money, like what's the priority for these games?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, you wonder are we at the tip top of this market right now? Is it only going to go higher? I don't know.
Yeah, we'll
You
see.
never know. I ended up with a Super Nintendo copy of I wanted to say Spin City. Now, if there was a Super Nintendo game of Spin City,
It's too bad you weren't a big Home Improvement fan, because there absolutely
was
was one of those.
But this is Sim City for Super Nintendo.
Is that OG SimCity?
That is OG.
Nice.
Yeah, OG SimCity. So, which I believe is technically like oddly enough a version of SimCity 2000.
Is it really? I thought they made
I
2000
think that's
separately.
I think this 2000 was the on a PC, and
Yeah.
then the
The-
SNES version they took
Is
from
just the port. Of
yeah, is
that.
the
It
port.
is.
But it's not as-
I have that
don't know.
backwards then.
I think
Okay.
I think it's not as fully fleshed out, but it's the mostly the same stuff that's in 2000.
Did you play that on the SNES when you were
Yeah.
a kid? I played the crap out of that on the SNES.
Yeah, I had both. I had
Yeah, you build up your city until you like run out of money, and then you
no,
take
and
a
you
tornado
destroy
through
the hell
it.
of it
Yeah.
with the monster because
It's-
it was just like, oh, screw
yeah.
it. Like, yeah, it's like then you just try to see what you could do. And like, all right, yeah. But yeah, I think I had this at my mom's and the PC version at my dad's.
Okay.
So yeah, so it just depended on where I was at. Also picked up Turtles 2, the arcade game on the NES.
Good one.
It was decent price on it, so I think I got it for $10, which was not too bad.
It's a good price.
Although, yeah, a lot of places were selling it for double that.
And that card is in good shape.
Yeah, it's a decent cart in good shape, which is always hard to find too. I think there's just like a tiny little white spot down here, but I haven't even tried to clean it off yet.
Yeah.
And then my odd find of the day was I bought
Back
a
to this.
box, Final Fantasy II US or Final Fantasy IV Japan. So I literally bought the box
And the manual, right? Was in
and the
there? Yeah.
manual and all the stuff that came with like in there, but yeah, it I because I already had the actual game itself, so now I combined my game and combined the box, and now I have a full set. Feel better about life. It's not a perfect box, but it's better than nothing. Just to let you know, the highlights of this is it is a 16-bit role-playing game with 8 megs of memory, a battery backup save for up to
16-bit?
I know, whole 16 bits. A 76-page player strategy manual and stereo sound.
Stereo? There are 2 channels?
Maybe that's what the 3 and the 4 on the RF switch meant.
I'm
Those are
about
2
to pass
channels.
out.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm the only one that played this, right?
I have not played it.
Yeah.
You-
Well, I'm pretty sure I've played the first like 2 hours of every
That's
Final
fair.
Fantasy. So
I mean, yeah, I would never be like, you guys need to go back and play the SNES version of Final
Yeah.
Fantasy IV. Like,
Caleb boots up SNESticle, open,
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, Final Fantasy,
Yeah,
Final Fantasy.
pretty
Final
much.
Fantasy.
Yeah. Save file 1 hour 42 minutes, and that's as far as it gets.
I wonder if they would ever like. I mean, they're redoing 7 right now, but 7 7 at least had some FMV
So,
stuff in it years
what
ago. But like, would they ever go back and like redo some of these like 1 through 6s?
What I'm hoping they do is what they're doing with Final Fantasy 7, not the remake, but the mobile thing they're doing with that. I'm hoping that. Do you know what I'm talking about, Jason?
I don't
You
think
look
I
confused.
do. The mobile thing.
Yeah, so it's like literally the original game, but all of the sprites and everything is completely updated. So like it has a completely visual overhaul. I think a new translation too, which that game
Are we
really
talking about
needs.
7 right now?
Yeah. And
so
then
the not sprites, you mean the
the
polygonal
they're,
characters?
well, they're adding sprites.
They're adding sprites.
So like when a text box comes up, like Cloud's face is next to it. And
oh,
that's all like brand new artwork.
is it the artwork from 7?
It's new.
Sorry, is it from the remake?
No. It's
So
like a
it's independent
new,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah.
So that character artwork that's
So
like a
it's-
persona talking head.
Yep.
It's new artwork that is catering to the older version of the game,
Correct.
inspired by that artwork.
Yep.
So somewhere in
Cool.
between,
So
like the original and a full-on
yeah.
7 remake.
So I think that might be the groundwork that they go for the older ones to remake.
I would replay 4 or that one in a heartbeat.
Would you play it on mobile even?
If that was my only option,
Yeah.
I'd replay it again that way.
Would you? Sorry, I'm getting in the weeds again. Would you figure out a way to make that a large screen experience, or would you stick to your phone, or find an iPad in the
That's
middle
actually
somewhere?
an incredible transition into one of the games I've been
Oh
playing.
yeah, I actually want to check in on this.
Yeah, I
too.
mean, if it's a way that I can, I mean, if you think about an iPhone, like I can come home and I could play it both ways. I could, just pop it on my Apple TV. I can, do it that way.
Oh
So
yeah, Apple TV.
Yep.
Sure.
yeah, I guess the only thing though would be like if I'm looking at the screen on my phone, then it kind of defeats the purpose, I guess. Unless I got a gamepad for it or something, which I think you can get gamepads now that link into an Apple TV. Bluetooth,
You can't.
so-
I can tell you all about this.
Oh, okay. Well, segue on.
Take it
sir.
away, kid.
Yes.
So the Apple TV is compatible with Bluetooth controllers,
Okay.
but only very specific ones.
Like which ones are we talking here? Not a
So
PlayStation
we are
one?
talking PS4, not
Okay,
5.
I've got one of
Okay.
those.
Yep.
PS3, I believe, as well.
Okay.
And
Installed one of those.
the second, I think it's the second generation Xbox One controllers.
Oh, they do.
So the first generation Xbox One controllers did not have
yes.
Bluetooth.
Yeah, that's right.
And the most recent version of the Xbox One controller / Series X controllers has too recent of a version of Bluetooth.
So,
So
your
those don't
Steelers
work
controller,
either.
but not your launch
Yeah,
controller.
my bright
So-
yellow one and
yep.
probably my Scorpio one.
So you need one in the middle
Mm-hmm.
if you're going Xbox. And that took me a very long time to figure out.
Interesting.
Oh, there wasn't like a.
How was the
there
yeah,
wasn't like
the pairing of that go okay?
So you
Other
can.
than once you figured
I
it
have
out,
one
yeah.
of the new, like the Series X controllers. I have one of those, and I paired it. It worked. It paired flawlessly, but every time I would launch the game, it would say, "Please connect a controller." I'm like, "There's a controller connected." It literally says on the screen, "Controller connected. Please connect a controller." And I'm like, "What am I doing wrong here? I have no idea." So I started looking into it. I'm like, well, maybe it's just this controller. So I tried the PS4 one, and it worked just right away. And I'm like, okay, so there's something wrong with my Xbox controller? And I found one knowledge base article on Apple that was like, here are the controllers that are compatible. Here's the exact model number of the Xbox controller you need, or use a PS4 controller. I'm like, okay, whatever.
This was Apple documentation.
Yeah.
A KB article
Yeah.
from Apple. Just making sure. Okay. Because it would be so like them to actually have no documentation on something like this, and it all be like a bunch of people talking on
Right.
forums.
Yeah,
But-
it was like, take the battery cradle out and look next to, it has an arrow pointing to hello from Redmond, Washington. Look right next to this. There will be a series of 5 numbers. If those 5 numbers are this, then you're able to play this game.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah.
Man, a segment they've never really been that great at.
Right.
So shocking.
But yeah, you can do that on an Apple TV and on an iPhone, whatever you want. Whatever Apple product you want to connect that to, you can do that.
Logan's cat was trying to do it over there. And it just-
Yeah,
He gave up.
His paw just was like, you want me to look at what number?
But yeah, I used that to play a little bit of Fantasian, which is a JRPG from Square
on Apple Arcade.
on Apple Arcade. Yep.
Their subscription service.
Yep. You cannot buy this thing outright. You have to subscribe to Apple Arcade, or you can't
Which
play it.
is what, a month outright?
I don't know because I'm part of. I
4,
do
5?
Apple. What is it called? Apple Plus or Apple One? One.
Oh,
is
is
that
it
right?
the service that comes with TV? And
Yeah, because
Okay.
I'm in a family plan with that, and it's like it comes out to be like $2 a month or something.
Right.
Yeah, because it's like, it's kind of crazy. You get like a ton of cloud storage, too,
Yeah.
right? Like
2
and-
tera.
Oh, do
You get 2 terabytes, but it's shared between everybody on your family plan, which is whatever.
I should look at that.
Yeah,
Then, just based on
because
cloud storage.
do you get fitness with it too?
Yeah, you get fitness.
Yeah, you get-
oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, so you get TV, Apple Music.
Arcade. Yeah, you already said music.
music,
Those are the big ones.
fitness, and
The-
then the 2 terabytes.
Yeah,
What's the total cost on that?
15 a month.
15?
Is that right?
I
That
think so, but
seems
it's
about
up to
right.
5 people, so I think it's like
Oh, the family plan might be 25.
I only
think
pay,
a
I only
solo
pay
plan-
like $3 a month for this. So I don't know. I don't know. We'll have to look.
Wow. That's cool. Yeah. Anyway, tell me about that game because I'm like,
It's pretty cool. It's the thing I like about it the most, the thing that attracted me was the music is Nobuo Uematsu, who did like all of the Final Fantasy soundtracks.
Logan, yep.
Yeah. And I'm pretty early on still. I've played less than an hour. But that battle theme, even like in those first few fights, is like it's good. It's really good.
Man, okay.
It reminds me of Final Fantasy X, that style of soundtrack. It's pretty solid.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a high bar
Right.
you're citing there.
And I'm talking about literally like the first couple of songs in the game. So maybe it's hit or miss from there, but
Critics still think so. Critics love this thing.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe you're
But other than that, it seems like a pretty old school JRPG.
Okay.
You're leveling up, you're
what's
equipping
the
items.
combat like? Is it more like a traditional, like we were just talking about, 8-bit, 16-bit combat, or is it closer to like a 32-bit onward?
It's like isometric angle,
Okay.
and your party's on one side, and then your enemies are on the other. You have some abilities can hit multiple enemies, like based on like a line or like an
Oh.
area, so you can like drag around and try to get as many people in as you want.
That's interesting.
But it is all turn based still. So at the bottom of the screen you have your turn order, so it tells you like who's coming up next, that kind of thing. So it's kind of
little more-
simplistic, but also a little bit more modern in that way.
Okay. Then what about are they actually physically casting spells or characters hitting one another, or are
Yeah.
they jumping? So they are actually doing the Final Fantasy VII thing. Are they? Or I know that
Kind
people don't
of.
care about that, but it's one of those things that always stood out to me as a gamer my age, where Logan, you know this just from playing those games, like where the character jumps forward, they slash, but the character's all the way across
Character's
the
40
screen.
feet across the screen.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. Is it like that, or is it like Final Fantasy VII where
So,
they make contact with their weapons?
It's kind of in between. It's
interesting.
so they do the first character has a sword, and he does a slash just standing in place, but there's like a beam that goes across.
Okay.
So he's not jumping to the enemy, but it's also not disconnected.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, interesting.
And the other character that I've played as so far is guns. So it's literally just like shooting.
Yeah, there you go. Okay.
Well, at least
Yeah.
that makes sense with the shooting. Like you're
But yeah, I'm gonna keep playing that. It's cool. I
Does
like it.
anybody know how long that game is?
I just looked it up. The main story looked at like 15 hours. So
that's not bad,
yeah.
especially for an
That's
RPG.
reasonable.
I'm also not clear. Somebody said that this might only be part 1 of this game. So there might be maybe later this year or next year or something there'll be a part 2 that's the same. I don't know.
Okay.
Story good though. I mean,
It's
from what you
okay.
did-
It's I mean I'm still pretty early, but it's the typical trope of the protagonist lost his memory. I mean like every JRPG ever.
Speaking of Final
but
Fantasy X.
it is kind of cool. There's like this giant machine that's trying to take over the world, and he's doing that by attracting humans to him so that he can like eat them and absorb their energy to get bigger and keep going. And there's different groups that have like formed almost like religions around it. Like they worship this thing because it's so powerful. So he's like literally brainwashing the citizens of this world into feeding him. So it's kind of a cool setup, but like I said, I'm still pretty early, so I don't really know.
That sounds interesting. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Jason, you play anything new this week, or are you still in your same rotation?
I played more Outriders,
Okay.
and I don't hate that game.
I keep hearing people say that.
It's not. It's not terrible.
Uh-oh.
It's
Logan's
not,
wall's collapsing.
Wait, what game just made space for Outriders on the wall?
Super Street Fighter 2.
All right, Super Street Fighter 2 is out. Outriders is in.
I moved everything around today, and that's why.
It's Gears of Destiny, you know.
Gears of Destiny. So it's a
I know-
cover shooter.
I know that's what
a
people are
lifestyle
saying.
game.
It is that, you know, you're looking around for loot. The story's pretty mediocre so far from what I can tell. But it does remind me of a game that I would have played 2 generations ago to maybe do an achievement grind in terms of quality. Games like a Dark Sector.
Now you're speaking my language.
Well, but not
B game that's
yeah, but it is, yes, in that tier.
B
a
game that
Darkness,
overachieves. Yeah.
Yeah, like that tier of game, but it's not like that because it is a lifestyle game. You know, you're hunting for loot and you're looking to play cooperatively with other people.
Yeah.
The world tier system is a little hard for me to understand because there's like a tier system with better loot and more difficulty, but I don't know if that runs concurrently with the campaign.
You can, as far as I understand, you can change that anytime you want.
Okay.
So if you're going into missions and you're struggling, you can turn that down, or vice versa. If you're going and mowing everything down, turn it up because you're going to get better loot that way.
I wonder, do you know how high the tiers go?
I don't. 8, something
Okay.
like that, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll jack that up or not. It depends because I doubt I'll play this with anyone really. If we're gonna play something co-op, it's probably gonna be,
Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Right, you know,
or maybe we'll sometime finish Gears 5.
Speaking of Gears,
don't bother.
Yeah, speaking of Gears, you know what? When we'll finish that like the month before Gears 6 launches,
And
Yeah, there you
Then
go.
we'll play part of Gears 6 and be like, eh.
and then wait again.
Yeah, and then wait for Gear 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. At least wise we were both on Game Pass for that, and we didn't go out and buy it day one. Maybe that's what happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, as long as I have Game Pass, I will always
Yeah.
have access to
There
this
you maybe
game.
that'll be the thing. Like the month before your Game Pass runs out, you're like, let's finish this up before this expires.
I don't think this will. I mean, are we ever going to not
That's
have
the
Game
whole.
Pass
That's
too?
the whole genius. But we've never. I don't know if we've talked about that a lot, but that's the whole genius of that program. It's like,
You're just gonna keep re-upping.
more than likely,
Yeah.
you're like a lifetime subscriber to that stuff.
That game came out a year and a half ago, and we haven't finished it, right? I mean, this wasn't even a
I feel like
2020
longer
game.
than that.
Like, I
Maybe
fall in
not.
19 probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's right.
So just Outriders is actually fun.
What-
It's a good cover shooter, and it's not something new, like in a lot of ways, but it's not terrible.
What I haven't heard anybody talk about is what's the tone like? Is it silly? Is it like super serious?
It's entirely too self-serious.
Okay?
The story is humans are looking for a new planet to colonize, and they get there and things go wrong, and your guy is thrown into cryo for years, and when he comes out, it is like Escape from New York on this
Okay.
planet. It is terrible, and people are eating their young, and it's just like the worst. So it goes from kind of like your typical sci-fi story to when this guy wakes up, like just horrible things are happening. So there's a bit of a tonal shift there. It's kind of jarring because it's like the violence comes like from a story level and from a gameplay perspective. It just kind of comes out of nowhere. Like like bodies are just getting shredded. It's a lot like Gears of War in that way.
Okay.
Except you're not fighting locusts. You're fighting other humans and just shredding them into pieces. Some of the powers seem to be pretty cool early on. I can't remember what my class is. There's 4 classes. It's a class where you're able to stealthily get behind enemies.
Oh yeah, that's the. I forgot what they're called.
I'll look it up
Yeah.
as you guys talk. But there's 2 abilities I got right away. It's a giant slash, which basically evaporates enemies, and then I just unlocked this like globe thing, and inside of the globe, they slow down, but you can't shoot into it. So you go in there and everything's in slow motion besides you, and that's actually pretty fun. The physics works pretty well. Like from a gameplay perspective, it's fine. But the story is like, there's certainly nothing there to grab you. The voice acting is
Okay.
The lip sync's off, right? Sin number 1 for Jason. Number 2, the voice acting isn't great.
Okay.
But you could, for you especially, like if you ignored the story and you played this as a podcast game, I promise you, you won't hate it.
Okay.
You won't hate it any more than you hated a Gears of War game. That's for sure.
Okay. I downloaded the demo of it because I saw that your progress carries over from the demo.
Oh, I didn't know
So
that. Oh, that's cool.
and I guess the demo is just like the first 2 levels or something. So I'll play that and see what I think, and then
Could that be cross-platform too?
no, it's not
It
cross-platform.
is tied to your
It's
platform,
cross-play, but not cross-platform.
but not
Yeah.
in your progress. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because we were talking about how that's a Game Pass console only last
Yeah.
week. That's the new game I played. I played a little bit of Persona 5 Strikers. I'm in a weird spot. I don't want to get too far away from the games we're playing, but I haven't had that game this year yet. And I feel like the past few years I have already had it or had one of them. Besides Hitman 3, which I think is excellent, but I haven't gone back to it. And part of me feels like I should because I haven't had it could be just where I'm at or I'm playing less games and doing other things. I don't know. But I'm usually by this time in a year, I have a thing that I'm thinking about playing a lot or a new thing that I'm excited about. And I do have the things I'm excited about, but I'll get to Strikers when I get to Strikers. I'll finish AC when I finish AC. I could go back to Hitman because I really like it. I don't know. Like
It's been kind of a slow start.
Yeah. Other than It Takes Two and Hitman, I've got nothing, and I can't get my daughter now that it's nicer out.
Yeah.
I can't get her to come inside and like be like, "Hey, let's come in and play this game."
Come on, indoor kid.
Yeah.
Yeah,
go.
she's like, "Yeah, no, Dad, no thanks." Like,
And then what are you gonna do? Argue with that and be a terrible
yeah,
parent?
and like, no, how dare you go outside?
You
and
sit on
enjoy
this
fresh
couch and
air.
you play video games this afternoon, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, like you
I
can't.
get it.
You can't do that. So, and then when she does get in, she's exhausted, and
Yeah.
it's like, okay, well now we eat, and then
I'm not
well you've
gonna
been
make
outside,
you
so
think
you need
about this critically.
well, and like, or in that and like, oh yeah, it's by the time we eat, it's 6:30, 7 o'clock. You also need to shower, and we need to like, and by that time, and then she's just kind of like, well, I just want to relax and watch a TV show, and then go to bed. It's like, oh, well, I don't blame you there. So,
Yep.
it's supposed to snow this week, so
yeah,
Yeah.
there you go. Snow in April, late April.
Third winter coming up.
it's just nothing like third winter. So, yeah, the only thing I've new that I've played, and I don't even know when it actually came out, was it's a Game Pass game. My daughter and I played it a little bit today, just because I was working out and she was like, "Oh, I want to play. So I want to go find something crazy on Game Pass." And I was like, "Okay, like I'm glad this is her idea too to do this."
Go for it.
But she found a game called Rain on My Parade.
What the hell is this?
She was pretty excited to tell me about it earlier. Yeah.
I'm trying to find the release date of this game. Oh gosh, this is
Keep
like,
talking. I'll look.
You'll look for it. Okay.
Yeah.
So Rain on My Parade is a cloud. You take over a cloud, and then you just hover around with the cloud, and you have a button to rain on people's parade, like on their day, and you just basically just make people's day worse by being a cloud and shitting on their day.
I think this is like brand new.
Really,
It counts.
it counts as it's eligible for Game of the Year.
Release date on
Everything
Steam,
does now, for the record. but-
April 15th, 2021. Nintendo Switch, April 15th, 2021.
I'm gonna download it.
Okay, it's real dumb.
I'm
and
opening up Game Pass now.
like
and doing
it gives you like objectives to like do, and it's like, hey, like you're at a kid's birthday party and your job is to go around, and not only can you just rain, like you can rain fireballs and you burn all this kid's presents. And you can like
Okay.
customize your face on your on the cloud, so you can have it be like this happy face or a sad face, or and also there's a Metal Gear level. Like
Is this a licensed Metal Gear level, by the way,
no,
or is it
You
just
can
it's,
tell,
you
like,
can tell loosely inspired by?
it's
kind of a
inspired
thing?
by it, and it's inspired by
Okay.
like the very first level of like Metal Gear Solid. Like that's all
Okay.
it is.
It's
And
got okay reviews.
It
Like
looks.
it's not great. Like it's at
Oh,
a
no,
78 right
this
now,
game
but
isn't going
That's
to win
pretty
any
high.
awards.
Yeah.
At the same time, a 78 is an okay game.
Yeah.
Like that's an okay
Right.
game. That's like, hey, pop this in, have a decent time, and call it a day.
I've played worse games this year.
Oh God, yeah, I've played worse games, many worse games.
I have a worse game that I will talk about when you're done.
I'm sure you do.
Nice.
So that's
Nice.
the only new thing I guess I've played, and really the only thing I have played because then I'll finish my segment, and then I'll go back just to kind of piggyback on your thing of like, what am I playing? Like, what am I doing with my time? I have played probably more Halo Master Chief Collection than this year for no odd reason. Like, I've been playing a lot of Halo 3 on there because it's what's competitive. There's a rank system on there still.
Is there one for 2? Did you look?
There's not as many people playing 2, and it's not.
It's probably because we're all dying.
Yeah.
We're in our late 30s.
I
All us
know,
Halo
right?
2 players.
Well, it's also like weird game variants in that. So like,
yeah, not like straight Slayer.
yeah. So like the only one that's like true Team
Ah,
Slayer right now is
bummer.
Halo 3.
Well, you're gonna play
Um,
3 then.
And then the
That's
other,
weird that they would kill those lobbies in 2.
they're like they cycle them around. Where 3 seems like
Oh.
it's like the only one that's truly there. You can play a ton of like social, but like the competitive ranked stuff, the only one that I really want to hop into is 3. Otherwise, it's the 2 stuff is like, oh, here it's objective based stuff, and I don't want to play objective based stuff. Like I want to just play Slayer. So yeah, that's the hard thing about that one. But I think I'm back up to like a 12 on there, starting at 1 recently. So there are times where I get my ass handed to me in that, but there's also, I think I was telling you earlier today that because it's now on PC, you'll see beside people's names, you'll see a controller icon or a mouse and keyboard. So, and you do have the ability to toggle on or off of whether you are willing to play with someone on a mouse and keyboard.
Yeah, you should probably toggle that off.
I'm just going. I
Okay.
come up for the challenge. So,
All right. Good luck.
yeah, and so that's sometimes when I get my ass handed to me, probably.
Mhm.
And I try to look at that and then I forget because it only shows it pregame. It doesn't show it postgame. I wish Microsoft. Why don't you put that in the postgame credits there of the.
I'm sure one of our 3 million works for Microsoft.
Yeah.
and can-
What's her name at 343? Bonnie. Bonnie, you there? Yep. Okay, Bonnie. Yeah. Can we get that as a enhancement request? Thanks. Love you.
Is she still 343?
I have no idea.
I think
I don't
actually.
know.
she's
No
ac-
idea.
Actually, I think she is gone.
Yeah, I think she recently left.
I think you're right. Yeah.
Major Nelson, please get this changed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that says Major Nelson.
Nelson Major. Oh, not Nate Major Nelson.
Yeah.
Okay.
Close.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what terrible game have you been playing? Because I'm taking a guess it's probably BW, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So,
oh my gosh.
So honestly, I didn't play a lot of games this week because I've put together a ton of furniture and spent a lot of time in my lawn.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. We could talk about that if you want. I'm with you there.
Oh man, it's a mess. But whatever, it's fine. It's fine now. But I did play a little bit more of Balan Wonderworld. I don't know if I could do this, guys. I don't know if I can do it.
Turns out his heart does beat.
I
He's
was
human after all.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping that despite it being terrible in every conceivable way, that something about the collectathon would scratch that itch in my brain. It doesn't even do that.
It's too bad to do
It's
it.
too bad to do
How
any
far
of that.
are you in it though? Let's get it.
I'm in World 3, so not super
There's
far.
12 worlds, right?
I don't even know.
There's 12 worlds, and I believe
And-
there's a secret level because there's 2 levels per world, right?
So I was looking at the trophy guide. There's 3 because there's 2 levels and then a boss in each world.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at the trophy guide for this, and apparently the thing that stops most people, there is an RNG related trophy.
Oh.
Yeah, and apparently it can take you can get it in half an hour, or it could take you 12 hours. You just don't know.
Oh boy.
Because it's the little the Tims that
Mhm.
go around your island or whatever. You have to like do a very specific color of Tim and then feed another different color of Tim to that one, and sometimes it'll become rainbow colored or something like that, and that's how you get the final costume. Is you have to get a very specific version of a Tim. I don't know if I want to do that.
Oh, that does sound terrible.
Yeah, if this was just like get 100% in each level, maybe, but
It's not.
I don't even know if I can
Mm.
do this.
So the demo world, have you played that already? Like, is that like World 1 or something?
The farmer one?
The farmer
yeah,
one,
that's
yeah.
World 1. Yeah.
So you've fought the boss in the farmer.
yeah.
How
Yeah.
creeped out were you by the time you actually finished that?
I not as creeped out as you, because I think I
creeped
was
me
kind
out.
of
You were a
bracing
little
myself.
scared,
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you just we're ready.
Yeah. And I've played some weird ass Japanese games in the past too. So
That's fair. You have. You
Um,
may have me. You have a one up on me in the weird ass Japanese games.
but yeah, I'm thinking that one's going back to GameFly. It's
I feel like this isn't anything like an I told you so or like a victory or some kind nothing like that, Caleb. I just feel like you're a grown ass man, you play what you want, and if something sucks, we've come too far
yeah.
as grown men who enjoy video games. Like, it's just too
And
much.
sometimes the bad games do scratch some sort of itch, you know? Like
I'm
I
trying to think the last
realize
time
this is terrible, but I want to keep playing it.
when was the last one of those for you? Because
Oh,
I'm sure I
man.
have those, but
Yeah.
it's been a long time for me. Like 360 era for me, for sure.
Yeah, I would have to think about that.
You
I don't
too,
know.
probably. I mean, when was the last bad game you played on purpose? I
A
mean,
bad game I played on purpose.
it's probably been a decade for me now. I mean, I
Oh
haven't done
gosh.
in a long time.
I would had to have gone achievement hunting for it. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Gosh, I can't think
I
of
mean,
it.
I know this is like a gaming cultural thing here, like an experience, but
Fast and Furious.
okay, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that also wasn't the same kind of hour commitment or trophy commitment
Right,
that you're thinking
right.
about making here. So, I don't know. It reminds me of when I used to play bad video games on purpose, and I'm just, dude, I'm over that. And maybe it's because over time the length has gotten so crazy on some of these things. Like, you're playing AC Valhalla,
Yeah.
it's good, it's long, it's egregiously long,
yeah.
but it's good.
Especially if you try to do everything, like for some reason I'm trying to do.
And you should probably do that rather than bang
Yeah.
your head against Balin.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my opinion. So
Yeah, and then the last thing is Monster Hunter, which I also think I'm just gonna send back. It's just not.
Really?
It's totally fine. It's just not not at the level of polish that I want it to be at, I guess.
Okay.
I don't think it's a visual thing.
You don't
Maybe
think
it's a
Switch
visual thing.
or a technical limitation
It
thing.
could be.
Okay.
I'd have to do some psychoanalyzing on myself to figure out exactly
just
why
not
it's not
hitting.
clicking, but it's just not.
Logan, what I'm
Mhm.
hearing from Caleb
Mm-hmm.
is I'm seeing a bit of a renaissance from you. Are you aware of this? Are you aware of what's happening to you?
Yeah, a little bit of. I don't have all the time in the world anymore, so
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing. That's
Whole
what I'm
home
seeing from
ownership
you.
thing. It gets to you.
Well,
you know.
not just that, but like I think that things change. We value our time differently. Maybe you'd rather watch like a banging TV show or
Yeah.
something or do something else, or go to trivia with this jerk, or
Yeah.
like you'd rather spend your time doing
Oh,
other
yeah,
things.
I guess we do
than-
spend like a night a week doing that.
There you
don't
go.
we? Yeah.
Then I'm finding, and especially this year, I'm thinking about that a lot because every time I sit down to play games, I for whatever reason I think about, well, what are we going to talk about this week? Briefly, like in my head.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then I put down Strikers this week to play something new, just so I could bring something new to the table, because I know I'm gonna play that stuff, but it could be a long time before I finish it, especially if I own it.
Yep.
Like, it took me to finish The Witcher because of a bug I hit. Like, it took me 4 or 5 years to finish The Witcher 3,
Mm-hmm.
and there was a huge gap, and that's how I spent my time. And now I've got a couple of games filling that space, and I'll get to them when I get to them. Like, Resident Evil launches next month.
That one is a put down everything and play that
That's
immediately.
what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think
And
all three of us are in that boat.
There's the demo that just came out. I don't know if you saw.
What was is that it's a PlayStation exclusive, right?
So it's not. Yes and no. So there's 2 parts of the demo. There's I think it's village and castle, And
Okay.
Village is out now for PlayStation, not for Xbox.
Okay.
And it's a 30-minute demo. It's timed. Once your 30 minutes is up, it's done. Or if you die, it's done.
Oh,
You get one run for 30 minutes max in the Village portion. That's live. I believe it's ending at like midnight tonight or something.
Oh man, shoot.
But it's like the first part of the game. So I didn't play it on purpose because I'm like, I'm just going to play the game when it comes out.
That's my
Yeah.
thought. I'm like, I can wait.
The castle part is the same, except for it's out, I believe, next weekend for both consoles, and Xbox will get the Village one next weekend as well.
Oh, so I could play them both there.
I think so. And I think they might bring them both back one last time the weekend before the game launches, too.
I saw the event and I watched a little bit of the event, but I wasn't. Once I saw the new trailer and some of the new gameplay stuff, they were talking about the demo, but my attention got pulled away from it. And
Yeah.
I never went back. So thank you for explaining that to me.
I was just like, I'm going to play this game the instant it comes out. I don't need to replay.
What do you guys think about the level of combat we saw in some of those trailers?
You know, I've been trying to avoid the trailers, to be
So you haven't
honest.
seen-
Yeah.
Are
I'm
they?
skipping a lot of stuff. I just would rather.
They're not like I don't think that they're being terrible with the whole spoiler thing, but I will say that there is, and maybe it's because I don't remember Resident Evil 7 well enough, or I feel like there was a lot in my brain. Correct me if I'm wrong. In my brain, there's a whole lot of tar monsters that I shot
Yep.
with
Yeah.
things, and a whole lot of really large bosses.
Yep.
But I don't remember feeling like this is Resident Evil 4 from like these are human enemies and like a
Yeah, 7. I
it
feel like
doesn't
feel
feel
like
combat heavy in my
I feel like
brain.
7. The first half of that game is a puzzle game, and then
Yeah.
the last half is like more of a shooter game. I mean, not as much.
More of like a shooting gallery.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
But those let's say it's a lot of those tar enemies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This looks like it's got several enemy types, and Ethan looks like he's like grenade launcher, shotgun, handgun, rocket launcher. Like it looks like it looks like there's some traditional Resident Evil weapons going on in there.
Gotcha.
And there's like large rooms full of lots of enemies. So when you say shooting gallery, it's going to be more of a, if they're going to have that many enemies on the screen, I think that it's going to need to feel more like a first person shooter than 7, or hopefully they've thought about how it handles that. But that's my only observation from those trailers. Otherwise, it's pretty vague. You know that it's Ethan. You know it's a direct sequel to 7, and that's it. I also don't know what the hell's going on. I'm going to need to recap 7 a little bit. I love 7.
There was very little story in 7 that actually mattered.
Yeah, it was very story heavy in the front with the family and everything.
Yeah, but that
else,
stuff wasn't connected.
It was inconsequential. It was
Yeah.
it was the thing I remember the most, though.
It was literally like the very end that mattered for the overall universe, and that's about it.
I've forgotten so much of that. I can't even tell you what happened.
That's kind of why I liked it so much, is because there's such a huge amount of lore and, you know, just a staggering amount of stuff that goes into Resident Evil, and to have something that doesn't require you to know any of that was kind of nice.
Yeah. That stuff with Jack at the beginning of 7 is so strong.
Yeah.
Even if it is inconsequential, it's still God, that hallway sequence, the garage sequence, the thing with the cop, all
Yep.
that stuff that's what I remember from that game,
Right,
and then
yeah.
I don't really remember.
You don't remember
what the hell happened with Ethan
going
and
through
Mia
the-
at the end. Like,
You don't
How
remember
does-
going through the mines and killing.
I remember the tar monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like
what I
the
remember.
boat and all that stuff. I just was like, ugh. Can we go back to the mansion
Yeah,
Or the-
exactly.
or the house or whatever it was? Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
it for games, I
That's
think.
That's
Yeah.
it for games. Yeah. So hitting up TV for this week. There's some stuff I haven't watched yet. I feel like I've only kind of been catching up on things that I Like I need to watch Big Shot. I mean, the hot new John Stamos.
Did you watch that or no?
Basketball. I want to watch it. Have you watched it?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Well, the first episode, because that's all it's out.
That's all that's out right now. Yeah.
This is, I think, Disney trying to recreate Ted Lasso.
Oh no.
And I don't think it's working. But I'm going to give it a couple more to see. It surprised me that it's an hour-long show instead of a half-hour-long show.
I was like, this is like 45 minutes
Yeah.
long. I was like,
They are trying to make John Stamos be the redemption story, or like he has a soft heart after all kind of thing. Kind of in the way that Ted Lasso goes. John Stamos does not pull it off nearly as well.
he's not that likable.
Right. It would be way better, I think, if he was just a villain character in this show. But we'll see. We'll see where they take it, because I don't know. It strikes me.
Give it a shot. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I'll give it a big shot.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It's also a little weird because they have two shows going simultaneously that are kind of like the misfit team coming together, because they also have the Mighty Ducks still going. So it's a little weird that these shows are going at the same time. I don't know. It's strange, but
can you confuse Emilio Estevez and John Stamos?
maybe if you were drunk.
We looked it up
Or
earlier.
7.
Because John Stamos is what, 58? Does not look 58, that's for sure. John Stamos still a handsome man.
Yeah. And they make plenty of references to how handsome he is.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
This is a high school girls basketball team, so...
That are, like, wanting a 58-year-old coach?
Kind of.
Oh.
But in a very Disney way.
I'm uncomfortable.
I'm
too,
uncomfortable
Logan.
now, too.
Yeah,
like,
I can tell you weren't doing well. I'm not either.
No, I'm not doing well here.
Well,
So we'll see. Not a very positive first impression, but
Okay.
we'll see how it goes.
I have very low expectations going into it, so where do we hit on the recaps of shows, like where we're at with stuff real quick, and then anything new?
There was a couple of new things that I watched. First of all, did you guys see there was a new episode of Mythic Quest?
I did watch it.
oh no, I didn't.
It was kind of out of the blue.
Yeah.
Because the new season actually starts in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But yet they just dropped this random...
Is this random, by the way? It's not episode 1 of
It
season
is
2?
episode 10 of season 1.
What?
Yeah.
It is barely connected to season 1. So in a lot of it's kind of similar to the
quarantine
COVID,
episode.
the quarantine episode.
Okay.
This is their coming back to the office episode.
Yeah.
It was
There
pretty
is,
good.
Season 1, episode 11.
I don't think it's the best episode of that show, but
I did not like the first 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
And then it was like, oh, okay, this is back to Mythic Quest again. Like,
Right.
it felt
And
weird. To
this
start with.
was it was written by Ashley Birch,
Oh.
which is interesting. And you can tell she took a big swing. I don't know if everything completely connected, but I think it worked for the most part.
Yeah, I think in the long run it worked. But
Yeah.
the first 10 minutes, I was like, I'm not enjoying this, and I'm concerned about where this is going now. But then, it kind of came back for me. Was it Evermore? Is that what it was?
Yeah, don't get in too much because Jason hasn't seen it yet.
was
but-
it's the title of the show.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It was Evermore.
But yeah,
I'll
check
watch
that
this.
out.
Yeah,
And
you should
then
watch it. It's good.
That
Yeah.
and I think you're right. It's like a month or two away from the second season.
No, I
so-
think because at the very beginning, I think it starts May 4th.
Yeah.
So, or May 5th or something like that. So it's not far away at all. And that's why when I saw it pop up and I saw season 1, episode
Right.
10, I thought, what?
I kind of like that though. They're just willing to drop episodes whenever they have them. You know.
Sure, yeah. I just, this
I-
close to season 2 seems
That's
odd.
one thing that I'm really enjoying from this era of television is that everybody's experimenting with ways of dropping TV shows.
Mhm.
Like sometimes they'll drop a whole season, sometimes it's 3 episodes, sometimes it's a random one in the middle of a season. Like
Mhm.
it's just all over the place, and I kind of like the experimentation of that.
Yeah, people are just figuring out what the hell
Yeah.
works these days. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not really sure what does work these days. but,
Right.
yeah, so that was, I'm excited for that show to come back regularly too. So
Younger came back for the final season.
Younger. What is that?
This is the show that started on TV Land. It has Hilary Duff.
Okay.
It's about she's not the main actress, and I don't remember the main actress's name, but the main character is a 40-plus-year-old woman with a daughter, and she recently got divorced. This is the premise of the show.
Okay.
And she wants like a fresh start, so she imitates being like a 20-some-year-old to get hired at a certain place so that she can get a job there and then try to break into that industry. And then it progresses from there into so and so now knows that she's a 40-year-old, that kind of thing. This season is the last one, and I think that's a good thing because they've kind of run out of storylines.
That almost seems like a movie to me instead of a TV show.
They introduced like a young love interest for her and an old love interest for her, and she's kind of been going back and forth between them for like 3 seasons now. So
solid.
yeah. So yeah, it needs to end, but I think it's a decent show. I think it's okay.
It needs to end.
The place that she's working at currently is a book publisher, and they're going to have a children's literature fair, and they call it the CLIT Fair.
I see. Yes, that could be. Oh, whoops.
What is this on now?
I don't know what it's even on now.
Paramount Plus.
Is it on Paramount Plus? Yeah.
This reminds me of. Did you watch Arrested Development?
Yeah.
The analyst and the therapist
Yeah.
business card. I'm an what was it? An alrapist. Oh man.
I could see how this actress could be seen as either 40 or 26.
Right.
Like this is the actress.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
Okay. Yeah. Like I could see that. Like that you just put her in the right clothes and the right way, and yeah, she could go either direction. She can play both parts. I could see that.
And then the last thing that's new this week, The Circle came back for a second season.
Really? They gave that show a second season?
Yeah, I kind of... Wait, are we thinking of the same... You might be thinking of something different. The Circle is a reality show.
Oh, no. I am thinking of something different. I'm thinking of the movie The Circle, which was a Tom Hanks thing.
Yeah.
Tom Hanks, funny guy.
This is a reality show where it's 8 people. They get put in the same building but in different rooms, and the only way they're allowed to communicate with each other is via The Circle, which is basically a text app. So they can't ever see each other. They can't actually talk to each other. Some of them come in trying to catfish. So like there's a dude that's playing like a younger guy. There's in this season there's a woman that's playing her husband, but also she's playing him as a single father to try to get sympathy from other people. So it's basically just a giant social media experiment, and they have to whoever's the most popular at the end wins the $100,000 or whatever.
How do they determine who's the most popular?
They vote. So at the end of every It's not like a structured like at the end of every episode. Sometimes it's in the middle of an episode. Sometimes it's at the end. But they all rank each other from first to however many are left. And then the top 2 go into a private room, and then they don't see each other. They're in separate private rooms, but then they vote. They between the 2 of them pick one person to eliminate. And then at the end, they haven't. There was only 4 episodes out so far, but at the end of the last season, when they got down to 4 people, they finally all met each other, and then they picked a winner from there. So it's a pretty interesting experiment.
Real personality at that point. Okay.
Yep.
What is this on?
It's on Netflix.
That's what I was going to ask. What network it was on?
Yeah, it's weird that Netflix. This is another like experimental thing. Netflix put out 4 episodes this week, 4 next week, and then there's 4 on the 3rd week.
How un-Netflix of them.
Yeah. Right.
Right. Yeah. How very un-Netflix of you.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Huh. They've really, even when we have all thought, oh man, this is such a banger TV show. You should release it weekly. as if it were a premium network show.
I wonder if they'll do that with Stranger Things this time around.
That's
Maybe.
the kind of thing, like The Crown, Stranger Things, like they're really big shows. I wonder if they would consider doing that. Ozark.
Yeah.
Like I was just trying to think of their really, really huge
The
shows.
Great British Baking Show.
Yeah.
I mean, people watch the bleep out of it.
They do.
Yeah, that's it for new stuff, though. Everything else is just kind of keeping up.
Yeah, that's the same here. Just keeping up with stuff, and Invincible's fine this week.
Yeah, it was probably the weakest episode, I
Mhm.
think, but it was still good.
Same time.
Yeah.
Post-credit scene.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Just every time that
Yep.
show, it's post-credit scene, you're just like, oh.
Did you? It took somebody on Twitter to point it out to me. Did you notice that the blood splatter during the title card keeps getting bigger and bigger?
No.
Like every time they show like the title screen that says Invincible, there's a
Mhm.
blood splatter that goes across it, and they showed, somebody tweeted out at the beginning it's only like a couple of drops of blood, and now it's like half of the freaking logo is covered in blood. They keep amping that up every week. Just interesting.
That's kind of how that show goes.
Oh, you started
may
watching
have
it.
Started watching it?
I watched the first 2 episodes.
Cool.
Yeah.
I see you guys had prepped me
Mhm.
for the first episode because I looked at the length, and maybe I'd ask you guys, but I was like surprised for some reason that it was an hour. I don't know why. And man, I was like, for the first 45 minutes, I was like, this is okay.
Right.
Mhm.
And even through the length of it before the credits, and then the post-credits scene happens, and you're like, okay, this is going somewhere. Do you guys have access to the? Do you ever click the info bite things, the pop-up
Mm-mm.
video version of things? So
I don't know where. Yeah, I'm
if
never
you
sure
if you interact with it, there's Prime is the only service I think that does this, but they'll give you the voice actor who's on the screen at the moment.
Oh, yeah, they have like widgets and stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll also give you interesting factoids about the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I guess Kirkman wanted the graphic novel to have that scene happen in like episode 25 or issue 25, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And was told by his publisher that it wouldn't last that long if they waited, so it was in issue 7. And so that in the timeline of the shows where it kind of lines up with the end of the first episode. So that wasn't supposed to happen for a while.
Yeah. I feel like just though, as you said, like I have to preface this whenever I recommend to somebody, like it's going to drag. That first episode is. And then the post-credit scene is going to happen. And then you're going to go, okay, that's why I'm supposed to watch this show.
Yeah. The cast of that show is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The amount of talent that I don't know if I've ever seen more talent on one show. Have
No.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Of a TV show?
Yeah.
No.
It was the list, just you keep scrolling and seeing names you recognize. That's never
guard.
happened.
The guard from the first episode
Mhm.
who takes his stepson,
Mhm.
that's John Hamm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a very minor role in the latest episode that's Ron Funches.
Every time I pull it up, it's just unbelievable. Mark Hamill, Walton Goggins.
Yeah.
Like
the
just crazy.
Like by the time they get to like page 5 in the credits, you're still like these are still top tier like people that would
it's
be
unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of Walking Dead people in it, which totally makes sense
right.
from the angle. And these characters are all playing younger than their actual selves, but they're all doing a really good job.
Mhm.
Maybe Goggins is probably age appropriate.
Yeah.
But like Sandra Oh, probably a little bit younger. Stephen Yeun, obviously younger. So I watched the first 2 episodes. Like I said, thank you guys for preparing me, because the first episode is like, oh boy, I don't know.
You're like, oh, this is more superhero stuff.
Yeah, and this seems standard fare.
Right.
It also seems corny.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting for that stuff.
It
to
was
develop.
like overly corny to start out with too. Like,
I understand that now, but when you're consuming it, you're honestly not sure how earnest
Yeah.
some of that stuff is, and it is earnest, but in a deliberate way.
Yeah.
And you're just not on board with that right away, and then some of that ultra violence kicks in, which is also a little bit jarring, and it's supposed to be jarring, but it's like, am I watching the same show? You know?
Yeah.
Like it's whoa. but so far so good. I'm excited to. Is that episode 7 now?
6, I believe.
Yeah, let me look up and see.
Of 8 or 10
8.
total? 8. Okay.
Yeah, 6 was what we just finished up, and just like looking at the like star reviews on IMDb, it goes 9.0, 8.7, 8.5, 8.0, 9.4, which was episode 5. 'Cause
Yeah.
damn, that episode was good, and then 7.9. So
Yeah.
this is
The most recent one was more of just it was kind of a what's the word, like
Cool down match.
not cool down, like you know how there's two types of TV, there's like serialized and procedural.
It was a very
It was kind of a procedural episode.
4 was a procedural episode
Yeah.
too. It was like,
Okay.
hey, here's this, like, we've got this he's got this specific bad guy mission thing happening this week.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen. And that's kind of what episode 5 felt like it was going to be too, until it wasn't.
Yeah.
But then episode 6 kind of turned right back around, and like the first 10 minutes were very consequential of episode 5, and then it just kind of turned back into the procedural thing.
Yep.
But then the last minute and a half were not. Again. So that show leaves you wanting more. That's for sure.
I hope they come to some kind of a conclusion at the end of the season. I hope it's not just a giant cliffhanger, but we'll see.
There's a lot of stories going on.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to get into this more. There's a lot of bad guys. There's a lot of stories, and all the good guys got a lot of stories. So it could go a lot of different directions, and I could see them only maybe wrapping up 1 or 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you just think about, like, from bad guys right now, you've got 3 major story arcs going on with bad guys right now, depending on who you classify as a bad guy, I guess.
Yeah.
Too.
I just finished up, and maybe he's on later, but Seth Rogen's part. Do you guys remember the role he played?
No, I don't remember.
Mhm.
He played Alan the alien.
Alan the Alien.
He's the guy who went to evaluate Earth's
Oh,
protection.
I love that guy.
He's supposed to go to Earth
Aerith, yeah.
or whatever, Unrith or something like that.
Yeah.
Wait, what? That's Seth Rogen.
Okay, yeah. Now I remember
Wait,
it.
spell that with a U or an E? An E. Oh boy.
He's like an executive producer on this
Is
too.
he? So that's the part he played.
Mhm.
Every time a new character comes on, I'm
Yeah.
like,
Because your
Thought so.
superpower
Yeah.
of being able to identify voice
yeah,
actors.
right away. The guy's he's telling that sappy story about a stepson. I'm like, that's effing John Hamm. I knew it. I feel like I'm buying a Mercedes. It's because it's John Hamm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that show's all right. I'm still on Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You fell off, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
You're done.
Yeah.
The internet
It's
will tell
fine.
you what happened.
It's okay. It's superhero stuff, and I don't really need.
Yeah, it's fine. This week was the penultimate episode, and I don't know how they're gonna wrap it all up. It seems like they have a lot to wrap up, and I don't think it's gonna end clean. And when I say end clean, I mean like not from a hey, here's gonna be season 2 or whatever, because I don't know if there is gonna be a season 2, but they've thrown too many things out there. Where I feel like Invincible, like it's gonna go on.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have that kind of thing where Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I feel like they're gonna be like, yeah, we've got these 4 stories going on right now. We got to find a way to wrap them up in 45 minutes, and that's
Have
not
they
gonna
said
go
that
well.
that's a limited series?
So
don't know.
The overwhelming. So it's the same time every time they have one of the Disney showrunners on this podcast to listen to, where they ask them that question. They're like, how do you feel? Like, what do you think your chances of season 2 are? And every time they're like, well, if they gave me the opportunity to do a season 2, I would gladly do it. But it doesn't seem like that is in Disney's mind, as they seem to be looking at these as 1 season shows.
Yeah, I could see Falcon and the Winter Soldier having a season 2. WandaVision, no way in hell. Loki, no way in hell.
So yeah, and unless it's part of the phase 6 or whatever, I don't even know what we're in now.
It's phase 4.
Are they serving the larger plan with that, Logan, then? Is
I
that
think
by design?
that's what it's supposed to be. Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious if it was an evaluation of success for that show, or if it was literally, nope, this is the plan.
Yeah, from what I understand, these are just supposed to be like they were going to tell the story that they wanted to tell and be done with it. Because
Okay.
I mean, WandaVision really, it was supposed to lead into the point of WandaVision was to lead into the next Doctor Strange movie. And the Falcon and the Winter Soldier thing was supposed to basically tell the story of Cap's shield. Like it was supposed to wrap up the story of what happens to Captain America's shield. And then Loki is just hey, we had this goofy thing happen at the end of an Avengers Endgame where Loki ended up taking the Tesseract with him in an alternate universe. And boy, people really sure like Tom Hiddleston and this character. So we've got this weird ability to make this kind of one-off story of what would happen if we figured out what happened to this alternate universe Loki. And that's all they're doing with it. That's all he signed on to do. So...
Yep.
Yeah.
Guy's a good actor, so
Mm-hmm.
handsome devil.
Yeah, he's another one of those John Stamos guys.
Season 2, Loki becomes a volleyball coach.
Mm-hmm.
I'd watch that.
I would
You
watch
know what?
that,
That
yeah,
would
yeah.
that'd be all right.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm
We should have a crossover
Yeah.
episode or something
he
here.
gets, like he's punished to Earth, and he has to he has to become
Send-
like take on odd jobs.
Let's send John Stamos to outer space for an episode, and let's bring Loki in.
What if it was What if it was like Quantum Leap, and the only way that Loki could ever get back to Asgard was he had to like achieve like these things as a job.
You have to win the high school girls volleyball championship, or you're never getting back. It's like Space Jam, kind of.
You never know when the next leap will be the next leap home.
It's a lot to digest, guys.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Disney, you're welcome. You're allowed. You're allowed that.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
These are free.
Go ahead and make some fan fiction. Disney fan 72 in the chat. Go ahead. Logan, you mentioned Quantum Leap, and since we're all big TV fans here, I do kind of. I don't know. You might get this. I think you're gonna get this. Sometimes I feel a little bit of a burden to try to watch the best of the best television just because I know it's going to be rewarding for me if I consume that stuff. Like, when I'm done with it, even if it's a limited run or like an entire series, I'm like, damn, that was good. That was worth my time. Like, I will be rewarded for it. Sometimes I miss, like, 80s television
Yeah.
in a way, like the MacGyver show of the world, the Northern Exposures, like a simpler time. I kind of miss that a little bit. Like, you watched what you watched. You sat down on Wednesday night and you watched it because it was on.
It was inconsequential.
And it really didn't matter that much. Like, water cooler talk, whatever. You could enjoy it. So there's communal stuff to that. And now it's like, with everything at your fingertips, it's a little overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's just it's a different vibe for me. It doesn't feel, I'm not trying to say it's work, because it's not. But it's like, you got to make some choices.
Yeah.
And what made me think about this actually was Law and Order, the new Law and Order, sorry.
Yeah, the organized crime.
Organized crime, thank you. Because I like SVU, and I like Chris Maloney a lot as an actor. And I would watch him chew scenery for an hour a week. I just don't know if I have time, because I'd rather watch Invincible.
I don't think that's the show for that, though. From what I've heard, it's a complete mess.
Well,
So
I mean, it could, that could be. But what I'm saying is whether a show is bad or good, it doesn't matter because you watched it because it was on. And I kind of miss like the simplicity of that a little bit. That's all I'm saying.
No DVR, no.
Right.
Yeah, there wasn't 20 networks.
Yeah,
that
I mean,
You know what it was like to be a kid on the couch watching shows in the late 80s.
That's exactly why I've only ever seen one episode of Quantum Leap ever. And it was actually really good. He was trying to so he was at home, and then he had a big fight with his wife or somebody, I don't remember, over never fixing the gate in their front yard because it was like it squeaked or it didn't shut right or something like that. And then he had to go on some kind of mission, so he leaped, But then something went wrong, and every time he tried to come home, it was a slightly different version of his house. So like, it was like the it didn't have a second story or something like. So he always knew he wasn't in the right spot. So he tried to get back to it, and then the
Isn't that the premise of
episode.
the entire series?
I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, because it's always the whole thing was like he always needed to find the next leap was his next leap home.
But this was like, I don't know if this was like I don't know what it was. But anyway, at the very end of the episode, he finally thinks he gets back home, and then he goes through the front gate, and it closes perfectly, and he just ignores it anyway because that's the only thing different about this. So he's in a different universe or whatever, but he doesn't even care anymore.
Solid choice.
huh? I mean, that's like they're like every
So
multiverse
maybe I
kind of
watched
thing.
like the series finale or something. I
I
don't even know.
have because I'm just trying to think like because every week he was always like in somebody else's body. That was like the whole joke was that like every week it was like, well now he's in like a ballet dancer's body this week, and the next week he's in like some big fat guy's body, and like you just he never knew what he was going to be because the end of the week was always. Like okay, he got out of it. Like, is he gonna finally get home? And then he like looks in the mirror and it's not him. And then he had the weird little digital assistant squiggy guy that like never could get the buttons right for him to get home.
I watched one other thing.
Oh yeah, what?
My wife and I finished Schitt's Creek last week.
Yeah, wait, didn't we think
We did talk
that?
about that, and then there was a Netflix doc. Have you seen that?
Which one?
It's just a best wishes, warmest regards.
Oh, for Schitt's Creek.
For Schitt's
Oh,
Creek.
okay. Yeah.
It's a
Didn't know.
45-minute like final season doc.
Okay.
It is. I think you should watch it.
Okay.
Fans of the show should watch that. It's made for the fans. It's like very behind the scenes. It's a lot of it's some background on how they cast the show, what it was like to pitch the show, Eugene Levy's faith in his own son to actually like make this work, and then these people like that they found in the cast, like a few were obviously Catherine O'Hara working, Eugene Levy working, Chris Elliott working, but then the rest of the cast is
I don't
like
really recognize him from anything.
yeah,
Mhm.
one of them, who was it? It's the I'm forgetting her name. She's the mayor's wife.
Oh, I can picture her. I can't tell you. It's not.
She literally like filled out a retail job submission or whatever, a job application the day prior to her reading, and the actress who played Stevie stopped doing auditions altogether, and then was encouraged to do so because it was a Canadian group and she was Canadian, and like all these people, they were just the right fit, and some of them just weren't going to be acting much longer, and then came along this opportunity, and also just about what the show means culturally and why it's important, and how it has like zero homophobia in it, and it's the only thing. It's instead of overcoming all the things to be together, the story is literally like a place that should be full of this.
Mm-hmm.
There's none of it, and people
Yeah.
just don't even like
Blink an eye.
Yeah, and that is, I didn't understand that, but it is so important to so many people that are like on another level with the show because of what it represents. And
because it literally doesn't try to force, like, it's not a show about like this gay guy trying to make it in this small town of like
No.
homophobic people. It's like, no, it's just a normally accepted thing.
it's about how people should be.
Yeah.
And it's made a serious impact on a lot of people. And
I guess I hadn't
it's
even
worth watching.
I hadn't even thought about it.
Well, that's because you're a decent human being.
Oh yeah,
But
like
there's a lot of broken people out there too that might hopefully see this and get the moral of the story.
I think there's only the one episode that I remember of like where she was running for town council, and she thought that this group of women.
She makes the assumption that
She makes the
Ronnie's
assumption
friends.
that all of the women there are lesbians, but it's actually the like women entrepreneurs group,
Yeah.
and she kept saying all these weird things, and everybody was like, "What are you talking about?" And then
Yeah,
it was
all
like
the
it
suggestive stuff.
ultimately made it was suggestive stuff, but it like ultimately it made sense too.
That
like
it would be this
in like a
group of
really weird
entrepreneurs.
people. Yeah, it was like, and I think it was Eugene Levy's character was finally like, no, these people are just business owners. Like they're not. They're
Moira, no.
Moira. Yeah.
They leave too, and then like all the people in the room acknowledge, like Ronnie, like, yes, we're also all lesbians.
Yeah.
When they're out of the room, yeah,
Mm.
it's so great. So once you're done with that, watch that documentary.
Okay, I will.
You should watch
Okay.
that documentary.
Yeah.
It's really good. That was the last. That was the only other thing I watched.
I forgot I did watch one other thing. I watched the '96 draft documentary.
Oh, is that good?
No, it's actually
All
terrible.
right, thanks for that. Saved me the
Um,
time.
It's 2 hours, and it was the least amount of effort they could have possibly put into it.
All right, then. Bummer.
They Zoom interviewed everybody, so you got really bad quality interviews from people, and really not a lot of meat of content either. It really when I say they phoned it in, they literally phoned it in on a lot of this stuff. Like it was, I didn't I can't I was really shocked how disappointed I was, because a lot of these NBA documentaries that they've done in the past have really been solid and had good stories to them. These were, I barely learned anything. They spent about 10 minutes on Kobe. I mean, as well they should, but it was kind of just I felt like everything we'd already seen in the last year about Kobe. Not much else other than I think I learned that the whole Ray Allen Marbury trade, like how that went down. I mean, and even at that, it wasn't that exciting at all. It was just a kind of, oh well, we knew that the Bucks like needed a shooting guard, so we basically took Ray Allen ahead of them because like we knew that we had Isaiah Ryder, we didn't need him, and we could probably make a trade and got another pick out of it. So they got a first round pick and Ray Allen out of the whole thing was how they got it. And then they were all talking about how excited they were to see Jordan and play against him, and that was the year he retired the first time in '96. So, or yeah, and maybe it was he came back. Was it? Yeah, that was the year he came back. Sorry, the other way around. That they were all they didn't know that they were going to get to play against him and everything else. And but yeah, that was pretty sad. It was yeah.
I'll skip it. Whoa.
Yeah,
Sorry
whoa,
about
you've
that.
got your cord all wrapped up on you. Yeah, I would say skip it. It was pretty boring.
Okay.
I'm surprised they didn't wait till the off season. Honestly.
Yeah, like maybe they knew it was bad, so that's why.
Oh man, that's even worse, I guess.
Yeah. So, anything else for this week? All right, fair enough. Well, this has been the Master of Unlocking podcast. Hopefully, everything produces well this time around. Point to the sign. Point to the logo.
Take us out, Logan.
Is this like you got to point to the WrestleMania logo? We'll put this one out for the rest of the time. All right, it's been the Master of Unlocking podcast. We'll see you at WrestleMania 38, I think.